It's Tyla's time. It's Tyla's time. Time to break it down. Time to shake it around. It's Tyla's time. It's Tyla's time. What you doing? It's Tyla's time. What you doing? It's Tyla's time. It's Tyla's time. Break it down now. Mm, mm, mm. Get tacos, cause it's Taco Tuesday. On Tyla's time.
Oh my God. You lost, Maya.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Tyla, and you are watching another episode of Conversations with a Natural. And today we have my friend Maya. What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
You know what I'm saying. It's a good day.
Oh, what you been up to? What's going on in your life?
Man, I just sent these books out 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So that's the big stress off my shoulders. But other than that, just living life, one day at a time.
One day at a time. That's how you gotta do it. It's rough out here, so gotta take it, baby steps.
Yeah.
We're just gonna do like the basic questions first, and then we'll get into hair and you being an author. So this is also a twofold episode. So we'll start with can you just tell everybody your name and your hair type if you know it, and where they can follow you on Instagram so they can get more information about you.
Okay, so my name is Maya Mascoll. My hair type is 4C, and you can follow me on Instagram at MAYAA the poet.
And what has your natural hair journey been like?
Okay, so when I was younger, I used to get a lot of perms. Like, I remember that creamy crack and my scalp used to itch, all that stuff. And I think in my sophomore year of high school, I just cut it all off because I was just like, my mom she did her big chop. And I was like, it's my turn. I'm ready. Um, so we cut my hair off. I grew it for about, I want to say 3, 4 years and cut it off again junior year of college.
I remember meeting you when you had hair, and then I think the next time I saw you, you didn't have hair, and I was like, hold on, hold on. Where did it go? I was like, what? Where did it go? And then I was like, oh, but look at your head. It looks so nice. Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is a look. This is a look, and she looks good and she likes it. And that's what matters, that's what matters. So I know you mentioned, you haven't always been natural. So like right now, like where you're at now, how do you feel about your hair?
So every time I feel like I can't manage my hair is when I cut it because I tend to go through this phase of coloring it and then it gets really, really dry and then I have to cut it to like re-nurture it back to health. I think this is the longest time that I've had black hair. And overall, even though I'm dying to color it, it's just like relearning my hair and because my mother, she has a natural hairline, so I use all of her products. So kind of like relearning what specific ingredients works for my hair and kind of like seeing, okay, well, I can't use this on my scalp because it'll make it itch, or if I use this, it'll counteract the itching. It's something completely different from when I first went natural because I have so much more information and like a lot of resources now. So like right now, I'm more comfortable than I was when I first cut my hair.
Yeah, wait, what are her products called? Like, does she sell them? Does she have a website or something? Cause I'm sorry, I'm such a product junkie. I can't. I get it from my mom, and like we just bought Pattern, like a whole bundle. Like we got the brush, the towel, the clip, the pick, the conditioner, the deep conditioner, the leave-in conditioner, the shampoo. When I tell you she bought the whole line. So when I tell you that we're running out of places to put the products. It's in her bathroom and now it's in ours. So join the club.
So the thing is, I'm a product junkie as well. And my thing is I buy a bunch of shampoos, but the only shampoo that works for my hair is my mother's. So it's like I know this. I'm very aware. But every time I see it, I'm like, oh my God, the bottle is so pretty. I have to get it. And then I call my mom, like, okay, I need another bottle of Healthy Me because this is not working. It's just not cutting it. So yeah, she makes shampoo, deep conditioners. She just made this whipped shea butter, like a hair butter that I've been using because when I go in the sun, my hair just immediately gets really dry. But using her products, honestly, I think it's mainly because she made them for us. Like she started with her kids and when she made the products. So it's kind of like she knows the basic. And then for me, she'll put certain oils for my scalp because it'll get really dry. So I think having something like that, especially black owned and small business, because you have like a more intimate connection, it's just amazing. Like the products work amazingly.
And do you know what the oils are, like specifically that work best for your hair?
There's one I can't pronounce. I know it starts with a T. If I can find it after we get off, I'll send it to you so you can like put it under it. But like it's really good for my scalp when it starts to itch. I'll put it on my scalp. I used to have like psoriasis flakes in my hair. Um, I put that on my scalp. It'll like fix all of that, make it feel better. Tea tree, I mean, that's holy grail. Tea tree works amazing. I can't use coconut oil because for some reason it makes my hair like really dry.
Yeah.
But I know like shea butter with all those oils, bomb. It's bomb.
Not too long ago, I realized coconut oil was not it, like, at least for me. Because, like, I don't remember what I was doing, but I put it in my head and I rinsed it out and I was like,
Mm-mm.
I don't, I don't like this. So I stick to like argan oil
Yeah,
and tea tree and jojoba and there's another one. Oh, it's a mix from a brand that I just found out was not black owned. It's very confusing right now. Yeah. It's
yeah.
like Jamaican mango and lime. I think that's
That one, the African, the
it's the
Jamaican black pepper.
island oil. So the
Yeah.
well, it looks like orangey, but it has so many good things, and I need to find a replacement. Yeah, that's the one that I consistently use. It has
Mhm.
like carrot oil and all these things that are good for my scalp, and that was one of the first oils that I could find that really did what it was supposed to do. Like it didn't just sit on top of my head and make my hair greasy. It really like moisturized
Penetrated.
my scalp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really did. And I was like, oh yes, take my
Yeah.
money, take it, have it all. Yeah, seriously. And besides knowing what oils and stuff work for your hair, are there any specific products besides your mom's line that that you like to use or have become like a holy grail sort of?
Thank God I'm natural daily moisturizer. Listen, I used that back when I first cut my hair, forgot about it and went and got it again. And when I put that stuff in my hair, it's just like my hair becomes a pillow. Like not many things do that, but my hair becomes a pillow. Other than that, oh wow, flaxseed gel because I try not to use regular gel. I mean, I can't always make flaxseed gel, so sometimes gotta use Eco Styler, but flaxseed it works much better.
And do you make your own flaxseed gel?
I made it once. Um, I know there's one. I can't remember the name of like the brand that I bought before, but it's like I think it's in a pink bottle that I bought before. I'll send it to you after this. I didn't really think about it. I don't keep gel in my house, but when I do, you know, the slick back speed it be on.
Yeah. I've wanted to try that, but like I don't even know where to get flax seeds from. And I think my mom had it, but then she uses it for her food. So I'm not really, yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of things in here that I don't touch. Is a lot. I guess now at this point in your natural hair journey, what's one thing like you really, really struggle with? Like I know you talked about like retaining moisture and stuff, like when you go outside and you stay in the sun too long? Are there any other things that have like really kind of made you kind of down and almost made you kind of retract and be like, hold up, I don't need this?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so my hair, I know everyone has shrinkage, but my shrinkage is like really bad. Like, I mean, I sleep with a bonnet, so when I wake up in the morning, my hair is like compact on my head. And I'll spray it, I'll pick it, and 5 minutes later, it's back to being compact on my head. So, um, if I could just do something to keep it from doing that, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't like, be as angry with my hair. But she's okay sometimes. I don't use heat, so like I can't. The blow dryer is not gonna work. I know that's not gonna work. Even when I think my sister tried to braid my hair a little bit ago, and she blow dried it, and I kid you not, it's like 2 days later when they were falling out, my hair was shrunk in the braid. So it's just like if the shrinkage would be just a little bit less, we would get along better.
I asked this because I was talking to somebody else, and we were having a conversation about like length and how
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of us are kind of attached to the idea of like long hair, and how like, oh, I just can't wait till my hair get longer so I could do this, or you can't tell me nothing when my hair get right here. And it's like, why are we so attached to this length? Like, shrinkage is what shrinkage is going to be, but it's a sign that your hair is healthy. So it's,
Yeah.
would you rather not have your hair shrink, or would you rather have the dead ends and your hair looking kind of limp?
Mm-hmm.
So how you feel about that?
I mean, for me personally, I think it's more of because when it's so compact, I find that that's when I have more irritation in my scalp. I guess because like the hair is so close to the scalp. But also just because like my hair has never not shrunk. Like I'll do twist outs and all that stuff. But I mean, when you have a good hair day, you're like, yo, this is it. This is it. I can't do a twist out. Like I can twist my hair in this length, but if I do a twist out, it's still gonna be like really shrunk. You're not gonna really see the definition of the curls. And then because I'm 4C, it doesn't curl, it coils. So it's kind of like to me a double-edged sword because I like having 4C hair, even though like it doesn't look like the mainstream natural hair. But then it's the downside of like the shrinkage being just so extreme, like I mean, I love seeing it because I know my hair is retaining moisture. That to me is the most important thing. But sometimes you just want to have it just a little bit big. You want to walk out with your big fro and have your big fro. Yeah, I can't do that.
Boom. It's funny that you say, because it's like not in mainstream, but like when I first started like looking up like the natural hair movement, it was really for y'all, like 4C girls, the tighter textures. It wasn't about me. Like my hair is loose. Like we're just gonna say what it is. My hair is loose. So
Mhm.
it's really like somehow the girls with looser textures have become the mainstream face of the natural hair movement. And that's
Mhm.
why I think most of the people that I've had on here have had 4C, 4B, yeah, somewhere around there. So most of them have been type 4 hair
Mhm.
textures. I've only had one person that has hair like mine.
Mhm.
And that's why I was like, oh, it's funny that you thought about that, because the movement was for y'all.
Yeah.
Like nobody was talking about my hair. Nobody was saying my hair needs to be combed, that is nappy or whatever. Like nobody was talking about my hair like that. But my mother, anybody else I've ever talked to, they've been like, yeah, like I've been getting flack for my hair my entire life. My entire life.
Honestly, when I think about it, I think it comes from like the shift in societal norms and stuff like that. Like I see natural hair, more specifically for type 4 hair being more accepted. But before it was just like, all right, well, your hair's nappy. It's not taken care of. And I know I had a lady who used to do my hair. She told me, she's like, you need to do something with your hair. And I was like, well, this is something. I woke up, I put the water in it, I put the products in it, I combed it out. It just looks like this. But I mean, I also think that just because for a long time, a lot of Black women were just straightening their hair or, putting in you know, just these styles that weren't I mean, I don't want to say they're not authentic, but like authentic to our hair types, kind of. So I think now that we're moving more into accepting and embracing these different hair types, it's kind of like more of okay, this is how it looks, so it's okay, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I've been trying to like tell people because I just like hair. Hair in general. Hair comes in all forms. If it's, it got a little wave, if it's super tight, all of that. So like if I could just like at least I think that's why I started this because like I just like hair. I like to talk about hair. I like to do all things with hair. So like if there's any chance that I can like uplift people who really aren't feeling too hot about their hair right now, I'd be like, you know what? You look good. You look
Yeah.
good. Okay? Like that's what you got on your head and I'm glad you're learning to accept it. And if you're not there completely yet, you know what? I'm on that journey with you. Every step of the
Mhm.
way, you need help. My tricks may not be, they may not work completely for you, but maybe there are some things that you can grasp on and be like, you know what? That's a good idea. So I think like, it's really about visibility and allowing people to see like, oh, okay, there are more people out there that, have the hair like I do, or maybe are going through the same struggles that I am going through.
Yeah.
And I'm really not alone because a lot of times I think we're in our head a lot and we're like, oh dang, it's just me. It's just me out here by myself, roughing it. It's just me all by myself. And it's
Yeah.
like, YouTube,
Yes.
Google. Like,
Yes.
it's amazing. It's
Mhm.
amazing. Besides all the bad stuff, there's a whole lot of good stuff. It's a whole lot
Yeah.
of good stuff
Too much information just there.
at your fingertips. And that's why it's like you can't act like you don't know, like to all the non-black, POC people that have like straight hair. It's like you can't act like you don't know because
But it's
Google.
there.
Because
It's
Google.
everywhere. Yeah.
We on billboards now, ads, TV, magazines, magazine covers. You can't
Mhm.
like you just
There's no way.
no. Like at this point it's like it's your fault now. Now that we're, ranting. Are there any specific like childhood memories that you have like attached to your hair or
Man, I have this one memory. Like I don't know what age or anything like that. It's just one of those memories that stick. I think my mom was doing my hair. Like I think I was one of those kids who had bobos and barrettes, all different colors. I had a big bin full of them. And my hair has always been like hard to comb just because, 4C, but also just because my hair is really, really thick. So I remember one time I'm just sitting there crying and I was like, no, I'm okay. I want to go home. Mind you, we're sitting in the house. But like, as a kid, home is safe for you. So like, I'm like, yeah, I want to go home. I'm done now. You can stop. And now that I think about it, like my sister, my youngest sister, she's like that. She's tenderheaded, And I think that a lot of for me, like being tenderheaded was just so hard because braids, combing your hair is not these are not things that you can kind of maneuver away from, especially as a kid, because you need a protective style. Like you go to school with your hair in a ponytail, and it's gonna come back. Like you're gonna have flyaways everywhere. Yeah. So I think like I spent a lot of time in the braiding chair. I had this one braider who just knew when I came in I was gonna cry. Like you just couldn't get away from it. I was like 13, sitting in her chair just the whole time because it's a lot. The pulling, the tugging, but overall, like, man, you just get so much experience out of that. Like you learn yourself. I kind of feel like when you're doing your hair, even though it's like a part of you, it's really like a part of your soul. Like you're learning more about yourself when you do your hair. When I do my hair, sometimes I really have like, all right, I need a break. I can't finish this right now. My sister did my hair and it took like 6 hours because she did like the small knotless braids, and it's like to the point where even after she put the braids in, I was like, yeah, no, this hurts. It needs to come out. Like it's just so much soreness, and I don't know where that gene comes from. I don't even know if it's like a real gene. Maybe it's just all in my head. But man,
does
yeah.
eating help? Like do you take like Tylenol, or do you just like stay away? Do you just not like?
There's certain braiders I will never go back to. I'll tell you that much. Like I just, and it's not even their fault. It's just because braids have to be tight. They have to, like, in order for them to last, they have to be tight. But man, the way when you part the hair and you get that comb all in the sky, you ain't have to do all that. You didn't have to do that. You could have used your nails. Man, I want to get my hair braided so bad, but because of the length, I'm just like, I know there's gonna be a lot of tugging, a lot of pulling. I'm not ready for that right now, so I'll give it a couple months. Um, but yeah, I try not to let people in my hair, like unless they like. I don't even my family can do my hair, that's normal. But anyone else is just like, yeah, no, I'm good on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went to the same person for like years until I finally got like a new hairstylist, and now she's the only person I go to straighten my hair, box braids. When I don't want to do my own hair, I'm like, okay, Jasmine, like, when you free, because I son gotta
Yep.
get like nobody else. My mom stopped doing my hair in like middle school, so it's been years since I've had somebody else do my hair besides me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna look at your look. I was looking on her Instagram page. I was like, okay, I trust you. I trust you. Like, I know her, so I was like, okay, that's fine. But finding that trust with a stylist is key, because sometimes they be doing too much. They get scissor happy and they be doing all the things. It's like, I didn't ask for this.
But even like beyond that, it's one thing to be a natural hairstylist, right? But then there's another thing to be a natural hairstylist, well versed in all natural hair types. Because I've seen some really good work, but it's all on like type 3 hair. And then you go and sit in the chair and they want to smack all right, $50 extra because your hair is thick, $50 extra because your hair is coarse. And well, I mean, yeah, it's more work, but you have to know like you're not gonna do the same thing to a type 3 hair person as a type 4. Like I know for a fact my youngest sister has like it's more of a type 3 hair. I know that I'm gonna have an easier time detangling her hair than my hair or my sister's hair. It's kind of like you just have to know the different techniques for each hair type, because you can't do all hair the same. Like same way you can't do straight hair the same way you do curly hair or kinky hair. You just It's not that it's more work. It's just that you have to go about it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was like a couple months ago where this girl, I don't know if she went viral, but it was on Twitter, and like she had her price list or like her requirements for basically like setting up an appointment with her, and she was like, you must have your hair blown out. If your hair's not blown out, I'm not seeing you. If you got tighter hair, you can charge extra money. If you got this, and it was like a list of things she wasn't gonna do, even though that was her job.
And now that I see a lot of these hairstylists, you have to come washed, you have to come blow dried, you have to come. At this point, they want you to come partied and braided. Like, what? Then what are you doing? What am I paying you for? Like, I, I would never like, because to me, to prep for a hairstyle, the only time I would go with my hair washed and blow dried is if I'm getting it braided. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to you for a style or a color or a cut or something, I feel like you should have some type of hand in that. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you want the hair washed a certain way. Maybe you need it a little more straighter than I'm gonna bring it, or you need something I can't provide. This is your license. You took the classes, you got the education. That's why I'm coming to you.
100%. That's why I was like, you know what? I think the episode that's coming out this week?
Mhm.
No, next week. Sorry, I don't know what day it is. Next week on Tuesday, she's a hairstylist, and um, if there was anybody else that I would trust to do my hair, it would be her. And she does everything. Like when I say everything, she do everything. Like she do locks, she could do braids, all types of hair. When she talks about like, she's like, yeah, like if you're gonna be a hairstylist, like you gotta be well versed in it all. It's not enough for you to call yourself a natural hairstylist, but you can't do all natural hair. You're just a 3C stylist.
Nah, that's. I just gotta bring this up. Have you seen Brad Mondo? Like,
Some sometimes his verbiage, I'd be like, Brad.
Brad,
Brad.
sir,
I'd be like,
baby.
yeah. Yeah, like when white people say ratchet and stuff like that, I'd be like,
Talk about it. Talk. They don't
what,
hear you. They don't hear
what you mean ratchet? Like the thing? The
you.
like what you mean? And then they get quiet. They don't have no answers. Yeah, I've seen his videos. Some of his videos are like informational, which is like cool. But then
Like,
when
we
it
know
comes to
all the
like
odds.
well, yeah, like but like natural hair stuff, when they see he's like, oh, she's gonna ruin her hair. Oh, it's gonna and I'm like, no, I think she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, like I, I know he's licensed. I know that,
Yes.
but he's just some things you don't talk about. Like, I wouldn't talk about, Caucasian hair.
Nope.
I
I
wouldn't do it.
wouldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
I don't know anything about that.
Never seen it. Never met it. Never.
Was she?
But not like when I watch his videos. Sometimes I'm just like, listen, sir, just
Yeah.
pause.
Mm.
It's another example of a hairstylist who's not a hairstylist. But I'll leave that there. Take a pen in it.
Girl, don't try and get me kicked off of YouTube now. This man gonna search his name and be like, oh.
I'm sorry, Brad Mondo.
Yeah, sorry, Brad. I'm not trying to. What if we on his channel? Hi, Brad.
Oh man, nah.
Oh gosh. Some of his videos are good though. I can't lie. But
Yeah,
on that front, I agree. I completely agree. Yeah,
I think he needs more education. And then it'll be perfect.
it would be fine. But yeah. Do you have any like people that you look to for like hair inspiration or just like style, like overall style inspiration, stuff like that for like hair or clothes or like, just everything about you?
I am so boom. I feel like everybody knows who De'Ara is. The OGD. I mean, like it's OGD. When I see her dressing, I'm like, you know what? I gotta step my game up. I can't afford Gucci, but I can get the knockoff. You know what I'm saying? Like Rainbow's got it. Shoot, Rainbow's got it. I got it.
Got it.
Yeah, her style I like it a lot. Also when I see her get braids, I'm just like, whoever does her hair like has blessed hands because mine don't look like that. I'm gonna leave it there though. Kiana Naomi. I started watching her a couple years ago. She's really good with like style. Like I watch her videos religiously. And then a natural hair like YouTuber I watch is Chizzy Duro. I think I'm saying her name right. I found her like way back when. Her and Nappy Fool TV. Whew, elite. But yeah, those are the ones.
Got you. I think I've seen a Chizzy, right? Chizzy.
I think so. I think it's Chizzy Duro, if I'm saying it right.
I saw a video of hers, but it was her like doing somebody else's natural hair routine.
Mhm.
It was like somebody with loose hair. It was completely different. And she was
Mhm.
trying out her hair routine on her head. And I was like, oh, she was like, this is not working. You lied. And I was like, oh.
I feel like that's informational though because it kind of teaches you the difference between your hair type and someone else's. Like, because a lot of people don't know that. Like, you just think, okay, it's hair. If she's doing it, I can do it. But unfortunately, you can't. Like,
Work like that.
mm-mm. If you got different porosity, you got different thickness, you got different, your hair is more prone to tangling. You can't do the same thing as somebody else who doesn't have any of that, you know?
But we're gonna get into your books. So, I just want to know, when did you start writing, and if there is like any specialization? What genre do you specialize in writing?
Okay, so I started writing, I want to say this was like fourth or fifth grade. I started with poetry because, you learn poetry really young. So that's when I started. I feel like I'm more of a poet than anything else just because for me, it's something I can do quickly, close my laptop and go about my day. But when it comes to like fiction writing, I am definitely more of like a romance writer. That's me. Just because like I'm one of those people who's like a hopeless romantic. Like it's crazy, it's bad, but I just don't like relationships. So I'll write about it all day. But you don't send me a text like, "Can I take you on a date?" I'm gonna. Sorry, my phone died. I broke it. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, it's just not me.
Please. I don't I don't need the exposure on the
Oh man, we're real life funny.
Oh, I'm hilarious. People be sleeping on me. I'm funny.
Nah, no, for real. I'm really trying to listen. I'm trying to tell people this is my life. Like it's not even. This
Oh,
is my life.
this is really me. Like, there's no joke. This is for real. Why would I lie? So is there a specific book or author that made you realize that this was something that you wanted to do?
Okay, so this is weird because I know a lot of people say like they have inspirations and stuff. Um, I mean I've always been a kid who reads. Like I could finish a book in a day. Like that's how crazy it was when it came to reading. But I think that like writing has always just been something I did. Like I can't remember a time when I wasn't writing, and like I can never think of anyone who like pushed me to that. But then again, my mother named me after Maya Angelou, so it's just like maybe that's destiny. Like maybe it's the stars aligned that day, and they were like, you know what, there you go, you got it. Um, I mean, I have read her work. I mean, who hasn't? But when I read her work, I guess I see a lot of me in her writing. So maybe I'd say that's an inspiration. But other than that, like I feel like my writing is like over here from the mainstream stuff. Like I see what everybody writes, and then it's like this has been for years. Everyone writes this. I want to make something for the people who are not in the mainstream books. So yeah.
So where do you draw your inspiration for the stories or poetry that you write? Is it your life? Is it the people around you? Or is it just, the world in general?
So I'm a people watcher. Like when I'm around people, if I don't if I'm not like actively drawn into conversation, you probably see me like sitting in the background just watching. And a lot of conversations that I overhear end up in my writing. Just because like I mean, like they say, real life inspires art. Um, and I can't experience everything. I'm only one person. The world is huge. There's so many things that I'll never get the chance to do. But if I'm sitting and listening to someone explain, some magical experience they've had that I haven't had, of course, I'm going to draw some inspiration and be like, you know what? But what would that feel like if I had done it? So some of the things I write, I may not have personally experienced, but I kind of live through other people. Like I take their stories and their experiences and put that on the page.
Yeah. And like when you write, your books, because I know you have two, right? You have two
Mhm.
physical books at least. When you write, do you want each book to like stand on its own? So like, two individual standalone novels, or do you want them to kind of be like a complete body of work where, one starts and the other kind of just continues the story, or are they just always going to be completely different?
So, okay, when I think about it, the intention was for them to be two separate works. I never intended it for it to be like, all right, this is one part of my life, this is another part. But I think as a writer, because you write as you experience things, there's always going to be some ties. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least in my poetry, Dead Roses was about like me kind of going through, figuring out who I was and coping with like depression while also just being surrounded by people and just situations, you know? And then Flight 21 is about, it's more of like me experiencing and kind of like intermingling with the different relationships in life, with myself, with other people, observing relationships. So to me, it's kind of like you can see the growth, and I think that the growth is what kind of links the two together.
I was gonna say, how important is it for you to, keep authenticity in your writing? So, if you include your own personal stories, like how important is that to you for other people that may be going through something that you are going through, like depression or anxiety and stuff like that, and for them to see it in your writing?
I mean that's the top priority for me, just because some people don't know how to take their feelings and put it into words. And what I've heard a lot about my books is that it's a lot of me reaching into people's minds and kind of taking those thoughts out for them and giving them something to relate to. Because I know for me, if I can't relate or I don't feel like I'm not alone, it kind of just makes it worse. So um, when I'm writing, I try to be completely honest. Like I don't write for it to be pretty. It just happens that way. But overall, it's like if I'm sitting here and I'm stewing over a mood, the only way for me to get out of that mood is for me to write about it. I have to take some type of effort to take it out and leave it there. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person who'll sit with something forever. So to get it off my chest, it just has to go somewhere. And it just happens to be poetry.
I think that's what my mom tells me. Like sometimes I just be in a mood and I don't wanna talk. I don't want
Mm.
to say anything. So she was like, "Yeah, you need to figure that out because there's no way you could just be here and be in whatever you feel in and not have a way to get it out." So, all right, but not consistently, not like I should. I'm working. I'm
I
working.
think everyone should write.
Yeah.
Like the same thing with hair. Like it's exploring another part of yourself. You'd be surprised what you would write. Like you'd be surprised what's stewing in your soul when you take a pen to a paper, because you could think you're over something, and then as you're writing, as you're spilling it all out, you realize, wait, whoa, no, I'm really bothered by this. I need to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Like people discount like art, but art is expression. You take all those things that are inside and you just create something you didn't know you could create.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think that's like, oh, I'm not to expose myself, but like in therapy sessions, like a lot of times they're like, oh yeah, you probably need to let it out. Like, you
Mhm.
might not want to talk to somebody, but it has to go somewhere. Like, because
Mhm.
keeping it inside could be detrimental to yourself. Like, not only
Yes.
like mentally, but like you could just hurt yourself like physically. Like, keep it inside so much that it actually starts to form like actual pain in your body. And it's
Yep.
all right, well now it actually has to cut. Like I have no
Mhm.
other choice but to let it out. So it's like, yeah, I think that's like really important. Yeah. So, find you a little journal or some, even if
Mhm.
it's a regular notebook that you're not using anymore, find it and just write. If nobody's willing to listen, write. You will listen to yourself.
Pick up your phone and go to that notes app
Yes.
and write it. Listen, sometimes what I do is I'll write myself a text message and I'll leave it unopened. I'll write myself a text message, leave it unopened, and when I feel like I'm over it, I'll delete the message so I never have to see it again. It's because, but people, I feel like a lot of people don't understand. Like you feel like you can't open up about a lot of things because it's a sign of weakness or whatever, but if you hold it in, you can only put so much in an envelope before it bursts. You're you, you're not you're not superhuman. You have to find some way to let it out at some point. So I mean, because like if you ever meet my mom, she will tell you when I used to get into my moods, I couldn't talk about it because it was just like too many things in my head at once. I would send her emails and just let it all out. Like, hey, I don't want to talk about it, but here's everything that's bothering me. I'd send it and walk away from the computer because some like a lot of things you can't say out loud because it becomes real. But if you write it down, it's like it's a diary entry, you know? It's between you and whoever you choose to send it to. So yeah, I think writing is very powerful.
At that point, it's still like a thought. It's not really real yet. It's not out
Mm-hmm.
in the world. It's on a paper. So,
Mm-hmm.
or it's in your phone. So like technically it doesn't exist. It's
Mm-hmm.
like that middle ground between like in your head and being
Yeah.
out there.
Mm-hmm.
So like on average, how long would you say that it takes you to at least finish a book? So from like conception of the idea to actual like publishing, I would say.
Okay. So when it comes to poetry, it takes me about anywhere from 6 months to a year because I write consistently. Like if like I said, if I'm ever in a mood, I have to write it out. You know what I'm saying? Like even if I don't finish a poem, I'll start something to kind of get whatever is lingering in my mind out of it. But Dead Roses, honestly, is I published it my sophomore year of college. It is everything from around eighth grade till then. So there was a lot of like going through journals, going through emails, going through old messages, and kind of like pulling everything out and putting it together. Flight 21 was originally supposed to be something completely different. Like, I don't know if you knew, but I was trying to like create this book called Love, Sex, Lust. And after a while, I was like, I'm not feeling this. This is not, it doesn't feel authentic. So I was like, you know what, let's scratch it. What do I feel like writing now? Like, what have I been writing? And I realized, like, as I've turned that page into 21, there was just so many things that I had realized and so many things I had experienced that I don't think I could have handled at a younger age. That I feel like a lot of people don't realize that they're going through or experiencing or kind of like feeling. So that's kind of where that was born from. And I started that, actually, I started that, I think, in the beginning of senior year and finished it in the end of May.
Oh, so like a whole school year.
Yeah,
Like
basically.
like 10 months? 8, 10,
Yeah,
10 months?
I think, yeah, yeah, something like that.
I should know how long a school year is. I've been in school my whole life. Should know. But would you ever go back to that other idea? Like, will you ever pick it up again?
I think so. I think what it is you know how like you just have connections to people because of proximity or because you know they're who are around at the time. I kind of want to take more time and handpick the people for the next book because when you're handling an idea, you have to be very careful because one wrong move can taint the entire thing. Um, and I just kind of I want a lot of authenticity when it comes to that book. That's something that it's kind of touchy because it's three different concepts that are all intertwined, you know, like there are things that everyone goes through, everyone experiences, and you kind of want to handle that with care so that you don't make it something that it's not or that you know has been turned away from what it's originally supposed to be. So I think it's probably not the next project, but it's still on the list of things to do.
Okay. And what exactly would success look like to you? Like, you in a couple years, you write, you got a bunch of books, what is, is that your idea of success, or is it something much greater than that?
Um, Man, honestly, if I was measuring my success as an author, I would say as soon as Dead Roses was out there, I was successful. Because as an author, the only thing that, not the only thing, but one of the biggest things is to get your work out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's to get it out there and into the hands of the people who need it. But then I published Flight 21, and it's not even been a full month, and I've already sold out 50 copies. Like, to me, it's kind of like unbelievable because I feel like any artist would know, like you never know when something is done. You never want to take your hands off of it because it's like your child. You know, it's something that you've created, you built for years or months, and you kind of like shaped it. But once you realize that, people are looking forward to these things, this is something that, you know, you've put your soul into it and people can see that, that's when I feel successful. That's when I feel like I've done my job as a writer, and I can, like, if I was to walk away from writing right now, I'd feel fulfilled because I know that there are people out there who know who I am from my writing and who can relate to it, who kind of feel what I put into it. But overall, I feel like I'll be successful when I've helped other people get their success.
Now, like during the pandemic, I feel like artists have really been thriving. Like you see
Yes.
more art than ever of all forms, whether it's like paint or like videos or, books, poetry, every form. Like I feel like everybody's like, you know what, I don't have any excuses anymore. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
put it out. I'm gonna give it to the world because I've been holding off on this for so long, and now I can't fight it anymore. I have no reason to. So it's like I like everything. I like art, I like paint, I like reading stuff. So any opportunity I can get, I'd be like, you know what? I'm reading it. I'm tuning in.
Yeah.
Get some money, buy a book. I ain't got no money right now. But but yeah, I think especially right now, I think it's wonderful to see the variety of people and the variety of talents that we do have, like even within our own communities, like things we don't even know. We like, I didn't know you was doing. I didn't know. It's like, it's crazy.
For me, it's something that I've like wished was always around because if you think about it, a lot of parents, and I mean specifically a lot of Black parents, will push their children to do more concrete things. Like, okay, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be an engineer, do something that you're going to make a living out of. And I mean, I've had that talk with my mother before, but it's the passion, that it's like that feeling in your chest when you do something you love. It can never be beat. Like, if anyone's watching this who wants to pursue art or something that's not, mainstream when it comes to money, do it. Do it. If you're passionate about it, do it. Period.
You almost took the next question out of my mouth. But if somebody wanted to get into publishing, so specifically like the author lane, what's some advice that you would give to them?
Don't stop writing because you chances are you're gonna hate some things that you've written and you're gonna wish you wrote more. Write all the time. Like, if you are sitting there bored or you're watching something, you're like, oh my gosh, what if this was this? Write it down, take some time, and fill out the idea. And then after that, edit, edit until your fingers hurt, edit until your eyes hurt, and then just go for it. Because when it comes, like, I think a lot of people aim to get published by a publishing house, but having your book somewhere else, like Amazon or Barnes and Noble, you can do that yourself. You don't have to wait for somebody big to pick up, your book. Because what's going to happen is you write your book, you publish it, people read it, they share it to other people, and who's to say one of the people it's shared to isn't someone at that publishing house or isn't someone who has a connection to somebody at a publishing house? If you go and you take that first step of putting yourself out there, your work is going to speak for itself. It's going to take you places that you didn't even think you could go because the doors are closed because you haven't opened them. Period. Period. John's Mike, come on now.
You out here preaching? Oh, you just giving it to the people. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I hope people are taking notes. I need to write that down. I'm gonna rewatch this and I'm gonna be like, the door is not open. Because I'm telling you, that's good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Because we be closing ourselves off to a lot of opportunities. We'd be like, I can't do it. So what's the point of trying? And it's like, well, isn't that the point to try?
Yeah. The only way to know that you can or can't do something is to try. You can't, like, that's like me saying, you know what, I could never write a book. Like, if I had ever told myself that, I would have never wrote a book. You close yourself off to all the opportunities you could take when you say you can't. You gotta say you can, or you will. Manifestation, you power of the tongue. Oh my gosh.
Speak it. Speak it.
There you go. There you go.
Come on here. Come on here. my hair, man, I'm serious. You don't realize, like, even when you talking, I'm gonna take it back to hair, but when you're doing your hair, you talking your hair, you're like, man, I hate my hair. Like this hair not doing it right now. Like I can't stand it. And all of a sudden your hair's not working. It's not doing what you want it to do. You're not talking to your hair nice. You're not, and then now you got to start all over again. Now you got to go through another journey. Now you got to start again. It's like we really don't realize how much what we say affects everything around us and ourselves.
Yeah, because you put that energy out there. Because even when the hairstyle's not working, you saying to yourself, "We're gonna make this work." You got an idea. You can turn it around. But listen, it's all about your mindset. If you don't think you can do it, you can never do it. If you speak power into your own life, you surpass every single box that you were put in simply by doing that.
You're just out here preaching. I love, I am living. Okay, this is me alive. Do you have a favorite childhood book? Because for me, I love Junie B. Jones. I would read all Junie B. Jones books and the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. They just started re-releasing books. No, I didn't ask for all that. When I was in like middle school, yeah, I read them all. My godmother took me to see the movie when it came out. Yes, that's
Period.
when I tell you I was obsessed. I was obsessed. So, do you have anything like that? Like, are there any like series or just like standalone books that you liked when you were a kid?
Man, when I was a kid, so my middle school had a big library, and oh my gosh, what is the name of it's the book about, I think it's a bunny who's a vampire. Man, I don't know the name of it, and it's bad because I read every single book. Bunnicula, that's it. It's Bunnicula. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I read it. Oh, every book that my school had, I read it because it was. So the boy had a bunny, and the bunny was like a vampire. I don't remember the specifics, but I love those books. Can't write horror or thriller to save my life, but I love those books. As I got older, though, there's this one book called Drums, Girls, and Dangerous Pie about, I believe the little boy had cancer, and his brother was kind of like, dealing with having to care for his brother while also trying to live his life. I mean, thank God none of my siblings have, an illness like that. But it was like relatable because as an older sibling, when you have younger siblings, you kind of have to live your life for yourself and them because they're watching you, you know, and you have to make, your own decisions, your own mistakes, but keep in mind that people are watching you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then finally, I don't know if you ever read it, but Uglies, it's a series. I only ever read the first book, but it's a book called Uglies. This, I think, it's utopian society where everyone's pretty until they hit like mid 30s, 40s, and then they give you a shot that like makes you ugly. But you become pretty at like, I think 16, 17. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love that book. I don't even know why, but it was just so good. You know what I'm saying? It was just fire.
That's an interesting concept. Like losing your looks mid-30s, this society would crumble. Movies, actresses, poof.
It's over. I mean, what else? What else could you say? What could you do? I mean, jeez, you're ugly until 13, and then you just bombshell, and then you lose all that. Jeez,
Rapid
couldn't
fire.
even. Hmm?
I said rapid fire movies from the point
Mm-hmm.
you start looking good right up until that very second you lose it. That very moment, and it's like,
Well,
that's it. You had
more
a nice
hits on
run.
the road. Yeah.
Had a nice run. You was cute while it lasted. That's interesting. I might have to go find that now.
We
Is
can
that
read it together.
is that a young adult book? Like, is that, like the
Yeah.
genre, basically? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're about to close out this interview, but I want to give Maya, a couple seconds to give some final words, some final parting wisdom that she has for the people, or anything she has to say about the state of the world right now. So take it away, Maya.
I'm going to reiterate, your passion is your power. If you have something you are passionate about, I don't care if it is, riding a skateboard or drawing stick figures. Do that. That is your power. That is going to be what gets you through life. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, your tongue is so powerful. Make sure when you get up every morning and you go in that bathroom and you look at yourself in the mirror, tell yourself something nice, Be kind to yourself. Always be kind to yourself, because this world right now is so crazy and full of turmoil that even if you don't hear it from somebody else, at least you hear it from yourself. You know what I'm saying? But I love y'all. I love you, Tyler. Thank you for this opportunity. Feel me? Thank you. Period.
And I want to say thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I know you're sending books, and I really appreciate English. Do you speak that? Thank you. I really appreciate you going on here. Like, seriously, like, I really wanted to make sure that I chose the right people for these episodes, especially with people with like varying opinions and different ways of life, I guess, but people who weren't all doing exactly the same things. And I'm so happy that you took time out of your schedule to do this. I love you, sis. Love you, sis.
Love. Period.
That's on the PX. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with friends, because it's lit here. Okay, it's a good time. It's a good time. I can guarantee that. Okay, so don't forget to do all that, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.